one and all to tonight's lovely stream with our fine cast of crew. Yeah. To begin, we want to quickly say thanks to host on their service for our Foundry. Foundry services, check them out. Without further ado, let's see which of our brave contestants to speak first as to their find a detail. There's a detail. Mixed nuts for you, sir.
I'm glad I just didn't take a bite of my food. First off.
Yeah, I saw that it was you, and then I looked and waited to see if you were about to. It was going to re-roll.
I put the dish down. I can wait. That's not that big. Well, things have been good. Things have been pretty good. I've been streaming a lot of Zomboid. Ran Rad Wasteland yesterday. Did a bunch today on a multiplayer server for Zomboid. And my single player, I've been running the Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead mode for Zomboid, which, for those of you who haven't seen that or played that, you start off dead drunk, naked, soaking wet after having had a nasty fall out of the shower, with a cold, and a piece of glass lodged in a deep wound in your groin. Oh, and the house is on fire.
Nice.
Yeah. It takes what is already a very hard game and make it that much more difficult to get off the ground. If you don't manage to get a zombie killed and get their shoes, I mean, literally, the most important thing is to steal someone's shoes so that as you try to flee from your burning house, you don't injure your feet and slow down to less than zombie speed.
Yep. You get slower than zombie speed, you become a nutwitch.
Yeah, you're definitely sandwich at that point. You're going to get eaten. In most cases, if I think that's going to happen to a CDDA character, I just run into fire. I'd rather burn than be a zombie. But that's just me. Personal life, my fridge took a crap right after I ended up picking up groceries today, so I had to deal with that fun mess that no one wants to. But I've got a fridge coming tomorrow from a friend of mine, so everything should be good on that. It just means we got to break our backs getting it out of his basement and then into my house. So, other than that, things have been pretty well.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. Glad to hear. Other than that, things are going well.
Yeah. What can I do? I can complain and be really mad about it, or have a nice neighbor to let me store everything in her beer fridge until I get my fridge tomorrow. I mean,
hey, that's what community's for.
About an hour's worth of work to get everything cleared and moved and safe. I mean, the worst part is the freezer part of the fridge still works just fine. But I mean, anything you've left in the fridge is, piss warm.
Yeah, nasty. All right. Congrats, man. Keep up your attempts to survive. Hopefully you get a good roll. Are you there, Verdant? See, your camera's missing. Good.
I think you should move on to somebody else for now.
Yep. So, that in that.
Hello.
In that music stream, sir. Well done.
It was a thing. It happened.
You
Um,
had a few people there too.
I did. I had, on average, for the stream, 30 people, which is quite an achievement on average. So that was excellent. I've struggled this week with the type of feedback that I've been getting. And I've been wrestling with that for most of the week. It made me... My reaction to the end of the stream was relatively positive, but the next day, I started to get some feedback, and it wasn't good feedback. And I found even when people were saying that it was okay, it was very muted, and the feedback was more about congratulations, you did this, or I could see your passion. And so when I read that feedback, I don't read that it was entertaining, and I don't read that it was good music, because that's not what the feedback says. The feedback says, well done, you did it, not, hey, I really liked this song, or, you know, it sounded good, or so I've really been wrestling with that, and so, it's like, do I look at the average viewers and say, well, I had this amount of average viewers, it was fine to them, it was passable, it was bearable, and they watched it? Would people do that? And are they staying for the rest of the raid train? And so I've been asking myself all of these questions, and I'm a very analytical person, as well as being very creative. So I think of possibilities that maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. So I'm still struggling with it. I'm still feeling very conflicted about it. I'm glad that I did it, but I don't feel like it was as good as what I would like it to be. And certainly when I listen to it back, there are a lot of issues that need to be solved for next time, which I'm not upset about.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah. And it's my first one, so maybe I shouldn't be too hard on myself. There's so many.
That's what I was going to
things,
say.
right?
As far as the first one went, it was good. Was there
Yeah.
things that need to be improved? Sure.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
typically I mean, we all know when you do a first time stream, it's not up to standard, right? And it takes work to get it polished and fixed up and get it to where it kind of has a bit of that polish.
Yeah. I'm okay with it, and I'm going to
Yeah.
keep trying, and I'm going to keep doing it. But it has been a bit of a struggle this week to sort of like siphon all that through.
We are all always our hardest critics. You're always hardest on yourself. Keep that in mind. So, I mean, when you're looking to polish something, look at what you did right and what you thought was good, and figure out how to apply that to what you didn't. Because if you don't look at it in a positive light, because I don't sing, man. I don't sing, I don't play music. I enjoy music and I love to listen to it.
Yeah.
But there's no way I would ever attempt to do what you just did. So you need to give yourself credit for even making the attempt and being willing to continue to do it again. Because it was good. I got to catch about the last half an hour of it. I enjoyed every bit of what I heard.
I'm glad. Thank you for that. But yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm really happy I did that, and my campaigns have been going excellently. I've got a high quality of life right now, even though I don't have a lot of money. So, like, what can I say? I am great. Thank you.
You can say that you know how to spell better than me, because I'm really good at apparently putting things in the wrong order. And no one said anything yet.
Ah, well.
All right. Well, keep it up, man. I agree with Nuts. You did a good job. It'll be awesome. Table Nights.
Hi.
Hi. Things have been easy for you, haven't they? Nothing crazy going on, I'm sure.
Nah. But luckily I've got a bunch of people in my corner. I'm always surprised by the number of people in my corner. I never I know I have friends, and like people who care about me, but then, it actually reaches me how many people are basically willing to go like, yeah, I'll pick up arms for you. Let's fucking go. And I'm just like, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. But I have been enjoying the campaign that Mixnuts has been running. I'm excited that we're finally in St. Diego. And I have been doing Baldur's Gate. I tried to do Starfield. It's still stuttering like a motherfucker.
I think you had the same SSD problem though, right?
I'm not sure what the problem is.
Okay.
I don't know if I have an SSD or not. I forget. There is a graphics optimization mod that I'm going to download, see if that helps.
Yeah, I was about to suggest that.
And if it doesn't, then I'm probably going to wait to play Starfield for a while.
Something for both of you. You probably need an SSD for it to run, because that's what they actually say.
You do need it. Yes.
And then if you have a not so good computer, there's 2 mods out there for you. There's a graphics overhaul one to make it runnable on potato computers. And then
That's the thing. I don't got a potato computer. I got a 3060 as my graphics unit. That's only like 2 years old.
No, 3060 should work fine. If that's the case, then you want to get the DLSS mod that Jarl was actually talking about, because he was actually having problems running it.
I think that's the one I got the link for.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been going on. And I can't think of other. I did install work for a massage therapist. I haven't done construction in like 5 years. But I was able to make a God, I don't know what it's called, but it's like bars for the type of massage therapy where they walk on your back. I was able to install bars for that along with straps, and I graded it for 1,000 pounds. And I was able to hang from it, like just free fall. I'm like 30 or 330 pounds, so it's not going anywhere. And then a bunch of new friends that I had made saw the work that I did, and they're like, do you do this kind of work normally? And I was like, not normally, but I'm unemployed and will literally do anything for money. Tee-hee-ha-ha. Living in America. And they were like, great, we'll communicate. So I have a couple of construction jobs that are coming in. I have work as a substitute teacher coming in. That's right, I am an educator. I am going to teach your children all about how to be insane and awful and mean, because I am a bad person. But yeah, I recently got approved for substitute teaching, which I have experience as an educator, but also the teaching crisis in Florida is goddamn awful.
It's not just there, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's the love of tests that makes the education system great.
There he goes. Hello.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Oh,
He
good,
is
buddy.
alive.
My God, I have an issue with, like, if I get too much sugar in me, then I just completely like crash, and I got too much sugar in me, so I crashed for a while.
We should
All
avoid
good,
that.
man.
You need to make sure you get to enjoy your exotic date.
Nah, oh my God, it's just. I mean, like, if you guys need me to, like, I can actually, like, I can go get something, and like I can be on my exotic date for, I don't know, like 10 minutes.
It's all right. It's we wanted you to make it in time to do the recap so that you could mention the fun.
Yeah. So after the recap, do you mind if I like take off for a few minutes and grab something?
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
All right, recap away.
We're just gonna see what's going on with Verdant, and then get what's going on with you, Azrael, and then we'll do the recap, and you can do that. Anything else for you, Table Knights?
Not that I can think of.
All right, Verdant.
Howdy, howdy.
Hey.
Let's see what's going on. Got to go see a natural limestone bridge today, which was pretty cool.
I saw those pictures. They look nice.
Yeah. Got to go under it. I would have gone further, but I was wearing sneakers that I'd long worn the traction off of, and it got wet and slippery. So I'm like, I'm not trying to be a casualty here. But no,
yeah.
next time I'm bringing real boots and I'm going in.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else has been going on? Work has been kind of crazy busy. I'm getting trusted with more responsibilities, which is still kind of surprising to me. It's like, I guess they don't know who I am or what I've done, but okay, cool. Let's see where this goes. Outside of that, yeah, frankly, I don't have a whole lot going on outside of those two things as of recent. The only big thing I can think of is just kind of figuring out travel for the last couple months with the holidays coming up and figuring out who to visit and when.
Yeah, it's always a real thing.
But yeah, honestly, life is going pretty good. It's not the roller coaster that some others on the call have endured, but it's like that lazy river that suddenly turned into a whitewater and then went back to a lazy river for no reason.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Well,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm done.
Azrael.
I guess. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Watching a lot of Starfield. Really playing Starfield. It's such a great game. I love it. So I'm at my secret location today, and it was an interesting day. We got to go to the beach. That was really good. Got to spend some time with some friends that had been away for a while, and it was a good time.
Good.
So that was that's been my week. Just work stuff's been fun too. Nothing super crazy. So yeah, that's been my week.
Well, good. As far as Starfield goes, I've been doing that as well. Started to run on it. However, if any of you guys want to watch, I'm not doing spoiler stuff. I literally took 4 hours to get into the second planet where you deal with the Red Corsairs, and I'm not doing the main story quest except for one point, which Matt actually looked up for me that I had to do. Other than that, he can vouch for it. I've done no spoilers. Because I'm not that far in the game. Intentionally went a different route.
Good character.
Thank you.
Well worth going to watch, people. So if you've got some time, tune in to DM and watch him play Starfield. As I'm not going to be playing anytime soon, and may not even stream it because of the graphics and such that others have been having. And I mean, I don't blame it. It's what it is, right? Like, but it's unfortunate that it's a bit harder. All good though. You're doing real well.
You can always join. You can always join it, Matt, and see how the game is without having spoilers, because we probably won't have spoilers for a good, 60 odd hours. And then I'll mention if we do, I'll put a little tag on there to show people when we're going to have spoilers. So, but hi, without further ado, into the world of Apogee Cyberpunk Red. And the world that you all find yourselves in. Mr. Blackstone, you've had some interesting events transpire with you.
Yeah.
Let's have you do a recap of last session so we can get everyone caught up.
Alright. So we got to the utopia, quote unquote, and I forget the name of the place.
Arcadia.
Arcadia, there you go, that's it. Thanks. And it's very green, and it's also very quote unquote split, like down the middle. You got like Biotechnica and all the furries, the exotics, excuse me, on one side of the street, and you've got quote unquote normal people on the other side of the street. Architects, I think that's what it is, and they're it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship between the two. And we stood in line at the checkpoint for a while, and I remember there's a mermaid in the fountain. We met a very brawny security lady who hit on Matt's character. Hit on Zed. That was funny. And then we got out of there, and this bunny lady waitress asked if we needed anything, and everybody said no except me. I asked for water, and she gave me some water, and it tasted quote unquote normal. But that was an interesting choice. So we went about the rest of our we were waiting, and finally we got in. And we checked into a hostel. We each took a room. I think we each took a room. I think maybe one person stayed in the van.
I believe Adjo stayed in the van.
Adjo stayed in the van,
because he didn't want to part with it.
But then the next morning we woke up, and I apparently had wandered off to this. I wandered over to the Biotechnica side, and I had some milk and cookies, I think. They had a full spread, but I'm pretty sure I had some milk and cookies, and
yep,
it was an interesting trip. In this
trip being the key term.
Yeah, trip being the key term for sure. That's what I remember.
Nice. Anything else from any of you?
No, that's pretty.
I think covered it pretty well.
All right. So, you guys wake up, start looking around for Blackstone. He's nowhere to be found. Blackstone, if you need to grab something quick, you can.
Yeah.
Well, they look
I'll be
for
back
you.
in about 10 minutes.
So yeah, you guys have determined he's now missing, but you don't know where he is.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is find out whether or not he went down to Ajo's van and passed out there. That's the first thing that I'm going to go check, because that's a likelihood. I mean, I don't know if Ajo would actually let him in or make him sleep under the van, but
I'd let him sleep in my van. I'm not an asshole. Mostly.
Mostly.
So I'm gonna go tap on the window of the van,
Very
like
important qualifier.
to wake Ajo up.
Alan.
Have you seen Blackstone? He's missing. He was in the room.
What?
He was in his coffin rack up in the room, and he ain't there now. It's a pill hotel, you know, the pillbox hotel.
Yeah. No, he did not come here.
Oh, great. Told him not to drink that water. And he,
Right.
we gotta find him. Come get some coffee. Let's go look for him.
Okay. I struggle out of the vehicle and go with them to get coffee. Where's my glasses?
Top of your head.
So nice.
Hey, I could have said I hadn't seen him anywhere.
Fuck everybody. All right. So yeah, I get out of the van and I follow him.
Okay.
I'm gonna head back. Like I said, back up. Hey, he's not with. Ajo's in the van by himself. He didn't stop there.
Mm.
When was the last time you all saw him?
Last night when I went to bed, right before I went to bed. We split up to go to bed.
Did you see him get into bed?
No, actually, I didn't. I didn't pay attention to that. I just got into bed myself.
Okay. So then, when did you part? You're an investigator, journalist, right?
Well, yeah, I went and checked out a couple of bars. Kind of asked some questions to people to the biotechnical side who kept trying to offer me food and drink, which, you know, I usually don't trust other people's food. Just kind of a safety measure from, you know, how I ended up not being part of my corpo family anymore. They give you stuff in your food. You wake up in a fucking hostel with 3 guys wanting to beat the shit out of you. It's not fun.
I'm surprised they did not take your organs.
No, grandma wouldn't allow that to happen. I'm her favorite. Don't worry.
Ajo digests this as some sort of joke. And he says, okay, so you did not see him coming. You don't know what bar he went to. Literally, when was the last time you saw him?
We came here. We set up with rooms for the night. I told everybody that I was going to head off to gather information for the story that I'm going to write up about this place. That was the last time I saw him. I came back. I didn't check on anybody. I just went to bed. I didn't use the fast detox, by the way. I didn't need it. I didn't drink that much because, like I said, I don't trust these people. I don't know anyone.
Can we go back to the last place we physically saw this dude?
Yeah. Most people, the last place they saw him was at the hotel.
No, I mean like specific subset of the hotel. He was in a like the restaurant or something.
No. It's basically cube hotels, right? Where you get this little tiny cube. Think like Deus Ex, where they go to the hotel in Chinatown, where they're like these little tiny like boxes, essentially a bed with like almost nothing else in it, right? The last place they saw him was there getting into bed with the rest of them.
I have no idea where we could go other than like looking around here, but like for me, I have no real context myself as a person. And I don't understand how Adjo's context would have him understand this scenario beyond.
Adjo's probably wouldn't. He's more used to the road and travel than dealing inside corporate zones.
So I'm mainly just confused at this point. So Adjo just kind of looks at you, Harlan, and goes, "You're the one who knows how to figure stuff out. I drive and I smuggle."
Which, by the way, we put all the stuff we didn't want customs to find in your compartment.
Yeah. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, I know. Just making sure you're aware of what's in your command.
But you're the one so worried about Blackstone, old man. Let's find them. Come on. You don't seem motivated.
All right, fine. I'm going to go start asking questions.
All right.
Straight to the front desk, because you basically have to go in and out through the same area, right?
Yeah.
Is it the same person that was on duty last night?
No, it's a different one.
I'm going to walk up. I'm going to flash a press pass.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Do you have security? One of our group is missing. We need to know if there's any footage of him leaving last night or not.
Give me the person and I'll pass the request on, see if they're able to pull that.
I tell him about Blackstone. I tell him what capsule or room he was in. Last we saw, we went in there and he wasn't there this morning.
I'll pass the request along and see what we can find.
Thank you.
Anything else you need?
No. Any idea roughly how long you think that might take, or should we just check back later?
It depends on how busy they are with stuff, but it shouldn't take too long.
So I'm gonna step outside, look left, look right. Any bums?
Nope.
I always start with the people who see the most.
Yeah,
And
well-
the people who sit around doing nothing in an area like that tend to see a lot of stuff.
You seem to notice that there's not a lot of that sort of individuals in the city, period. It's almost like if that's what they're going to be, they remove the undesirables.
Oh, so they consider the homeless spare parts. Got it. I don't want to be in this place anymore. I want to get out of here.
I feel like none of us want to be here. But apparently we can't leave without Blackstone, so. And now Joe just kind of looks at Harlan like,
He's our best contact for trying to find your lady friend.
I thought that was you, but alright.
He's got the lead into why. I've got information on why his family disappeared into Night City and was reassigned there, and it's part of what went on with the story me and her were looking into. I think it's best if we have him along with. I mean, it's not like we couldn't find it out on our own, but I'd rather have the help.
Yeah, I get it. I miss him.
What is Stitcher and Zid doing with this?
We'll find.
Zid is going to look for a drug dealer.
A drug dealer. How would you go about looking for one of those in this location?
Probably on the biotechnical side.
No, I'm going across the fence. So, okay. I think, Zed would start by trying to like just I think actually Zed would start by thinking, like, seeing, have we got any substances on us that Doc might have made or whatever?
I don't
Could
think
be
you guys
passed
have
off on
any
a
of them on
market.
you. I think he had his own.
Okay. Because if there's something that we have that could be passed on a market, Zid would immediately start by, like, trying to pass whatever he has into the market. Like, he wants to be painted by these people as someone and have them come and be like, you're on our territory. Like, so even if it's like just whatever we've got, like, he's gonna try and start selling stuff, not to sell stuff,
Yeah,
but to be
the
painted
only
by
stuff that you guys
people.
have is the rapid detox and speed heal that Stitcher made last time.
I mean,
Let's go with that. That's what Zid'll do.
you can still use the anti-detox, because I mean, think about it. Right?
Those aren't
A place like
exactly
this,
street drugs sort of stuff. They're
No, but he doesn't care about if it's street drugs or not. He wants to be painted by people who are trying to sell stuff or have been selling stuff here for a while.
Yeah.
He wants
them
to get
come look for
noticed
him.
by a
Yes.
specific type of person so that he
Right.
can do more dealings specifically.
yeah, no, I get
That's
that.
what
I'm just making sure
that's
it's
where
clear
he's
that it
gonna
wasn't a standard thing that you could actually sell. You can pretend to have something and sell it, but it wouldn't be an actual item that you could shift like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
So,
Hold on, let me
That's,
find
where,
out.
that's how he's gonna start.
yeah,
I'm gonna turn around and go back into the hotel real quick. Do they have like the equivalent of what looks like a concierge at all?
yeah. Very basic and simple. I mean-
Straight up to this person and say, "Look, we're looking to acquire some things from people that don't usually want to be known. Who do we talk to?"
We don't talk about those things here. I could lose my job.
Do you want to step out back for a smoke break?
I don't have a smoke break for a while. But if you're looking for strange substances, those tend to be more available across the street.
I don't trust those people though. Whoa.
Well, that's why you usually find it across the street. It kind of makes sense, strangely, but it does.
All right. I'm gonna pester the person at the front desk again.
They
Still
actually
super busy?
give you, pull up on their screen, they don't give it to you, but they pull it up on the screen, they show you recording of Blackstone strolling out the front door like he knows where he's going and just right on and out.
You guys don't have any outdoor cameras? No footage out there?
Looked like from what they said, let me see here. They said they saw it. He continued across the street and into the Biotechnica area where we are supposed to not follow because we're not part of Biotechnica.
Okay. I thank you very much for your assistance. This is a fine establishment.
I appreciate
Make sure
it.
to write it up well in my story.
Sorry we can't do more, but, you know, corporate dealings, if you breach them, problems.
Oh, I know. And I'm going to kind of rub at the remainder of the bruises on my face.
So we'll have Zid do a streetwise for kind of doing his schmoozing there. I just heard something here, so I'll let you guys plan and strategize. Give me like a minute or two. I just need to see what the screaming was.
So, to those at home and to those that don't know how strong Zid's connection with Blackstone is at this point after escaping from Life Tech with him, this matters a whole ton to Zid. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour every single piece of luck into this roll for this session, because this is about as important as it gets. Now, Blackstone isn't Zid's family, but as far as he's concerned, Blackstone is his family. Like, he definitely would not have gotten out without him. So I am pouring all of my luck into this roll.
I take it your streetwise isn't all that great.
Indeed. In fact, none of my conversation skills are good, except every time I've rolled, or most times I've rolled, it's actually gone all right. So we're gonna find out. Here we go. And there's the one. Fantastic. I love it. Perfect.
Oh,
Perfect.
man.
This is what we need. This is all of my luck for today's session. Is gone, and I have an 8. So no, we're not going to find anything out. In fact, depending on what DM says, we may even find erroneous things. And I'm definitely going to be probably arrested at this point for trying to sell stuff. And I'm fully expecting to be arrested. And perhaps by the person that Zid doesn't want to be arrested by. We'll see.
I don't think they're going to
Everybody's-
arrest you, Sid, because they're going to realize you're trying to sell rapid detox and go, "What are you doing? This isn't
We will
even
see.
drugs."
He's performing a public service.
I'm trying to help them, damn it.
Have you seen these
Do you
people, man?
understand what is on these streets? Actually, I just thought of something.
So,
Way too long.
what we decide?
So I spent 3 luck and I rolled a 1 and I got 8. That's all
Oof.
my luck for today.
Oh.
So do your worst, TM. I want to see it. I want to see it. Bring it.
So, roll just a d10.
Okay. Okay.
So you go over to the Biotechnica side and start trying to peddle some wares.
Yep.
Next thing you know, you are flanked by 2 unpleasant-looking individuals
Yep.
with security armor. You've just been got the attention of the local beat cops.
Perfect. This is exactly what I came for.
So about the time that I come back out of the door of the hotel, look across the street and go, "Oh, man.
Yep. And
Ajo, what happened? What is he doing?"
I don't know what the hell he's doing. I wasn't babysitting him. That's Blackstone's job.
Blackstone's gone.
And
Never
no
mind.
one told
Never-
me to babysit this guy.
Never mind.
I look to these 2 security guards flanking me. I'm like, hey, what's up, man?
I think you're gonna come down to the station with us and have a discussion.
That sounds like a wonderful time, man.
Move. And they start ushering you off down towards the station.
Excellent.
Well, at least we'll know where to get Zid back.
I give the thumbs up across the road, just like, thumbs up.
This is exactly what I was hoping for.
I mean, it's one step below exactly, but we're close.
There was 2 ways this was gonna go. This way, or if you'd rolled the other way, a certain female individual would be the one who
Oh,
would
yeah,
have shown
yeah,
up.
I was
and
expecting
that would have
that.
worked a lot easier because, you know, she may have just had you go out for a coffee and chastise you for doing the wrong choice, where these guys are actually taking you down to the station.
Have you ever seen the beginning of the Woody Harrelson movie Kingpin and how he pays his rent?
Probably, but I
Don't think I've seen that one.
Oh god! After the stream, just pop it into YouTube to watch. You know, that little bit. You'll totally understand. So I'm gonna watch the cops go and go. Ajo, the cameras from the thing show Blackstone strolling out maybe 5 minutes after we all went to bed, out the door, straight across the street like he knew exactly where he was going, an out of camera feed because these guys on this side of the street they don't monitor what's going on the Biotechnica side because they don't want problems.
Okay.
What's directly across the street from this hotel?
Yeah.
There's a few buildings, and there's a kind of an alleyway that seems to lead to kind of like almost like a mini park.
Let's check the park.
Yeah.
I like nature. I don't want to be enclosure.
What would be a good investigation searching? Conceal, reveal.
Both of us, or just?
Yeah, since you're both looking.
DM.
You just double click on the skill itself, conceal, reveal.
Click once, it'll pop up, and then yeah, you do it. What's up?
Well, they're doing that. I know they mentioned there's a video of him leaving. Can I use the micro-optic cyberware to zoom in and see kind of if there's any like boot prints or similar that Blackstone left, or even like traces kind of deal?
You could try to do that.
Conceal, reveal as well.
I'm thinking. I think
Nice.
tracking would actually be more valid for that one.
Okay. Yeah, no. Well, I might not need to do it based on that Poncho's roll, but we'll see. Give me one moment. Tracking, right?
Yep.
Got you.
So Harlan, you're over in this area looking around. It looks like it's fairly well cleaned up. It's fairly well taken care of.
How
Joe.
many of these things are actually natural?
Yeah.
You notice behind a bench.
I find absolutely nothing.
This is going so well.
We'll get to that in a
Hey,
minute.
listen, I'm rolling pretty fine. All right. I don't know about the rest of you.
You find a cup, and you pick it up. You notice synth milk, and is that cookie crumbs on the edge of the cup?
Why would this stand out to me?
The whole park is clear, like very clean, except for this one cup.
Okay. So I go, hey, Alan.
Huh? It's Harlan.
That's what I said. Alan.
Okay.
Do you know, I mean, this whole place seems pretty spotless, but, it's just a random cup.
Is there a trash can anywhere near here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna point at it. It goes in there. Sorry.
Adjo looks at you and he goes, listen, this is the only thing in here. Somebody cleaned here clearly, but not picked this up.
I don't have any way to be able to. I mean, there's no way I can check it for fingerprints or anything like that. I don't have forensics or the gear to do that cyberware wise. I'm gonna look around, and Stitcher's still busy examining the ground, basically looking for.
Well, I was going to get to Stitcher in a minute because it'll be funny.
Yeah, go ahead.
So while
I'm
you
gonna
guys are
look at
talking,
Stitcher.
Stitcher turns around to goes back and look for the footprints as a cleaner bot with basically like a street sweeper but made to go on sidewalks and stuff in smaller areas, goes right by in front of the hotel area where you guys were staying. And he goes over and is like, there's nothing there. Nothing at all.
Just my luck, huh? Alright, fine.
Apparently, according to that roll, absolutely your luck.
Alright, look. There was... Man. That cleaner just came through, wiped out anything. What do you do? What are you guys talking about?
I'm gonna hold on. pointed Ajo. The cleaner bot missed that. It was in the park. Synth
That's
milk.
weird.
Milk and cookies.
Synth MILF.
Ooh.
Sounds great. How would the cleaner bot miss that, of all things?
I don't know. This is what I'm asking.
Well, okay.
I would hardly.
Are there any cookie crumbs or like spilt milk in the area?
Not that I can see.
What's beyond the park? Or is it just like a dead end back there?
No. There's a few other walkways that lead off from here. It's Biotechnica's area seems to have a lot of small parks that are connected around the buildings and stuff. So there's basically a lot of excessive greenery, basically showing how good Biotechnica is, right? It's one of their basically live displays to show people how cool they are, that they can do all this plant life that no one else can.
Hey, Ajo.
Yeah?
That cup. Which path was it closest to?
I'll take him to the path.
Yeah.
This one?
Okay. Well, I mean, right now, let's go this way, see what happens. And Stitcher will start walking.
Okay. Well, you guys are doing that. Blackstone, the camera pans in on you. I want you to think Feywild, exotic, companion that you had. What does it look like in this place you're at? It can be all great, all terrible, a bit of both, because if you think like this person kind of saw themselves as like a bit of an archfey, right? So anything good or bad, just excess.
I mean, this one's pretty hot. Pretty good.
Okay, so go ahead and describe where we find you and what kind of state we find you in.
I am loving life. I am in this lush, like, I don't know if you would call it a flower box, but I'm off on the road, off on the sidewalk, and there's this nice lush flower box, and I'm just acting like I'm making snow angels in the flower box and just muttering to myself these just wonderful, happy words. I'm just enjoying myself like a kid on a snow day and going outside and making snow angels.
Excellent. So yeah, you're just there, enjoying yourself in this flower bed.
Yeah, nobody's bothering me. I'm just laying there.
I'm assuming he's still out of his friggin' mind.
Yeah. I'm definitely
Not
out of my mind.
completely. He's a little bit more lucid than he was, but he's definitely not back all the way.
I'm in my happy place for sure.
So let's have you roll a resist torture drug so we know what's going to transpire after this. Do you come down smoothly or do you come down like a brick?
This will be fun.
Because that's going to make a bit of a difference.
Well, let's lock this up a bit.
You know, It's fun how in games like this, one simple choice can literally lead the whole party and story down a completely different path.
Wasn't my best roll, but
An 11.
luck helps. It could have been much worse.
What luck did you use?
3.
Jesus.
My skill's only a 6.
A 3 though, like 3 luck, and you still got such a great roll. This will be exciting. So, you guys are heading down that path, looking for your good friend, and is there anything particular that you guys are looking for? Just any signs of him?
I wouldn't really know to look for anything in particular.
Okay.
I'm just looking for the guy. I'm looking for Blackstone. I've only known him a couple of days. I'm going to look over. I would look over at Zid, but he's with the cops. There's nobody here who's known him very long at this point. I'm like, God, I wonder if this guy does this all the time. He just wanders off for no. Are we going to have to leash him? Fuck.
Listen, as far as I know, I don't know the guy. I'm just here to try and get him back.
So, continue on down this path, looking for Blackstone.
Sorry, wife was telling me something about the kid. Say that one more time.
I said, just we don't know where he is. We don't have a specific thing to look for. We don't know if this is standard behavior or not. So we're just going to continue off down this path that was the closest that the cup was at.
All right.
Bring the cup too, will you? Or here, I'll carry it if you want to take the trash.
I go. I don't mind, and I'm carrying the cup.
So, out of the 3 of you, I need one of you to choose. So, out of the 3 of you, pick one of you. And I need you to roll a d10. So, just /red 10.
You do it, Mitch.
Or /red 1d10.
Are you sure you trust this right now?
Let's go. I don't, but
All I
let's
ask
have
is
some
this,
fun.
what's the chances you
That's
can get another one?
1 in 10.
-2. Oh boy.
Well, how did you get -2 on a 1?
Because
I
it's
think
a
it's-
/R
I think-
roll.
Oh, so it rolled the
/R roll, so
negative.
it
Okay.
exploded
It
negatively.
counted as the explosion.
Interesting. Because it won't pop out and show me that, which it usually does. All right, cool. Well, that's fine. So, Azrael, I have a little acting job for you to do. Are you ready?
I'll try.
Get in your best Blackstone frame of mind. Okay. Now, your nice, pleasurable dream in life just had a bit of alteration, and now you've been in the embrace of a servant of Slanesh. Let's have a nice scream from Blackstone.
Ah! I'm trying not to be too loud.
Okay. So, all of a sudden, you guys hear this, like, scream.
I know a bad trip when I hear one. That way.
Hey,
I don't-
Harlan, you still have that rapid detox, right?
Yes, I didn't use it. Didn't need it.
Good. 'Cause I think we're gonna need it.
So after a while, you guys get to where he's at. You know, not like hours, but, you know, a few minutes. Or a minute or two, you find him. Blackstone, now that your trip has kind of taken a turn for the worst, and you feel like you've been treated nicely by the agents of the Dark Eldar, with Slanesh's embrace, how do they find you?
I'm in the fetal position. Like, muttering, like, painfully.
So you guys
and, like, crying.
see this like elegant flower bed, and in the middle of it you see this Blackstone clinched up like that.
There's probably nipple clamps on the ground.
Well, we found them.
No. His pleasure agent took those with her so she could use them again.
Oh, okay.
So the question is rapid detox something we're going to have to make him swallow? Is it an injection? Is it...
I kind of figured it was one of those rapid injector things.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's an injector. I think
Oh,
pretty
well,
much
I'm
all
just-
of them are.
I'm just going to walk up and kind of look down and go... shake my head at him and hit him with a rapid detox and hope that's enough to clear his system. I'm also going to jump back in case he lashes out at me.
Roll a resist torture drug, and mark one of your rapid detox off.
Me?
Stitcher would need to mark off one of his rapid detox if he hadn't.
But I need to
Since
roll
they
the
used it,
resist
and then
torture, right?
yeah, Blackstone needs to
Okay.
roll for the resist torture drug. You know, his favorite thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna luck this. I'm just gonna, whatever. 8, great.
You snap back to reality in like the harshest, most cruel way. And like the world is just like muted and
Not a
there.
happy camper.
Yeah. You're not feeling your Slanesh embrace anymore, so luckily that's gone. But you feel like you just got like slapped back to reality.
I look at Harlan and I say, thank you and fuck you.
First off, you're welcome. Second off, you're not my type. And now we got to go get Zid out of jail. I'll hold my hand down to help him up.
I take his hand and I get up. Alright, let's go to the prison. Let's go to the police station.
Hold up, before we go any further,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look him over to see if he's done
Great.
like anything physical to himself besides, you know,
Ah,
going hilarious.
smart
Just look in
man.
my eyes.
MedTech's doing the MedTech thing.
Yeah,
Right.
Huh?
Right. So, in terms of role, first aid or like just more RP kind of stuff. Sorry, just making sure I understand.
No, there's not exactly a inspect option, but it would be, since it's a medical. Well, since it's a medical one, it should be one of the medical skills, so I could see first aid. I was trying to think if one would work better. I could see either medtech or first aid. They'll give you kind of different. First aid is more kind of a quick overview, where medtech will be a more deep investigation on him.
Okay, y'all, I can either give him a once over, or it can be like, and how do you feel when I press here? Which one do we have time for?
Neither, but
Give
the
him the
one.
Yeah, give him the once over.
Alright. And with that, I will go ahead and do that. Oh.
One is the loneliest number.
What's
Man.
Right?
Still a damn 12.
That's the thing. He still got a 12 with rolling a 1. So,
That's
You're not
3
able-
ones in a row, Stitcher.
I see you are now experiencing what can be my tabletop luck in real life. Gedwin can speak to it.
Do better. It's been,
Hey, you want to
like
change my
3
random
years.
number speed? Go ahead.
Do better.
Anyway.
So there you go. All right. So you guys don't find anything wrong with him, Stitcher. He seems like he's recovered.
Till the DTs start in like 20 minutes, right as we get to the police station. I'm just gonna walk off.
So you guys head to the police station. And at that, we'll have the camera pan over to Zid. Zid, these two individuals shove you into a seat there in an interrogation room. Pop the nice bright light on right in your eyes.
Yeah.
What are you doing selling or trying to sell drugs in our city?
Zid sits as far back as he possibly can so that his hands, if they're not shackled, are behind his head, and his feet are as far from the seat as possible, as reclined as he can on this interrogation chair. Before they might kick him and say sit up, but you know that's where he would that's the position that he would try to take.
Okay.
And he would say, "I take it you have investigated the drug carefully, man."
It's being done right now.
I think you will find, just as it was advertised, it is rapid detox, man.
Why are you acting shady trying to sell it?
Well, I do not know how you do things around here, man. But one of my companions, someone I hold dear to me, went missing overnight. I am new here, as is he. And I saw lots of revelry last night. And I assumed he might have been spiked. So I thought that the best way to find him was to find the people who might sell illicit goods and be targeted by them so that I could see where they were and where they might have taken him.
Where's your medtech license?
You think I have a medtech license?
Then you're not authorized to deal in speed heal. And if there's a missing person report, you should have came and spoken to us. Not gone dinking about causing problems.
Yes, well, let's say that our experience here, man, hasn't been exactly welcoming by the authorities.
Yeah? And what did they do to you exactly that made you not feel welcome?
Well, they did not take kindly to our comrade initially with his news reporter pass. They took us into interrogation. We were under these bright lights, the same bright lights. We are from I do not know this area. I come from the combat zones. This is all new to me. I do not know your ways. But so I am flopping about like a fish out of water, man. Tell me what I should do.
What you should do, Zed, is roll. We're gonna have you roll a persuasion.
Okay.
Since that fits the
Well,
closest
as
to what
I
you're
said
doing.
before, all my luck is gone. So this is raw.
Just the
Persuasion.
way we like it. Always raw.
Boom. And there's the blood! Yeah, boy! Yeah, boy! Bring it on, boys!
8 ones in a row.
So many ones! Bring it on! Yes!
Well, maybe we need to update the the title to the Session of Ones.
How to roll a 1, boys. Alright. So we got an 8
masterclass.
in total.
Well, we don't exactly appreciate you breaking the rules because you didn't even take the time to get to know them. What kind of mind do you have to think that, oh, let's go into a new place and not bother finding out what the rules are? We'll just start messing around and poking around and causing problems.
My friend was...
And he lays a shotgun on the table, making it very clear that he's willing to go ahead and let you be removed.
Yeah, that's fine. Said my friend was missing. Our experience here has been different to anything I have ever experienced. I do not know who any of these people are, and I do not know what they are doing. I was very intimidated, as I still am right now. You can lay that gun on the table, that is okay. This is your area after all. I am a newcomer, you can shoot me, whatever you want. I want to find my friend.
How are you going to find your friend if you're plastered on the wall?
He breathes out like this huge sigh and he goes, I guess when they drag him in here too, I can shout from the blood cells that are sticking to the walls.
Well, I hope you have a good lawyer because you're going to the break for now. Enjoy your time.
Oh, I am
We'll see if
sure
we can
it's
find
fun.
you a good cellmate.
Okay.
And they lead you off to a cell. It's a holding cell, not a final cell, so it's just the one room. There's like 3 or 4 rooms. Yeah, 3 rooms that are smaller cells that you can tell are temporary holding cells.
I'm sorry.
No. Once happened, and that's exactly what would happen in that circumstance. I'm going to show up. When are we all, the rest of us, going to show up?
Yep.
He's still in the holding cell, hopefully.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll find out. So you guys eventually get there. And you arrive at the Biotechnica corporate police office. Biotechnica Law Enforcement Agency.
I'm going to take a big deep breath, and you all are going to watch Harlan's entire demeanor shift. From the media, who's used to being able to fight against the man, to, okay, now we have to deal with corpse in their own element.
Only you're a necromancer, you could deal with a corpse real well.
Not corpse. Come on now. Corpse.
I
Very
know.
close, not quite.
I know.
In the door,
Both
I
are dead.
True. Very, very true.
Both are dead and soulless?
Hey, I'm a ginger. I'm going to fit right in. So, straight in. Look left, look right. Look to see who's the bureaucrat that I'm going to just completely brush past to talk to whoever's actually in charge in this front area.
Yeah, there's basically a waiting room, and then there's a window with the person behind it. There's not a whole lot there. There's not like doors or ability to access things. You're kind of stuck.
I'm going to walk directly up to the window, I'm going to put my press pass up to where they can see it.
Oh, so you're a pressy individual. What is it you need me to do for you?
Looking for a friend of mine. Saw him getting hauled in earlier. Wanting to figure out how I can get him out.
Do you know what his charges are?
Probably selling rapid detox without a medtech license.
That is weird. Okay. Do you have legal counsel?
Not specifically. I'm then going to drop the name of the guard from the front from Militech, though. Was quite fond of him, though, and I don't think it's probably going to be a great relationship back and forth if he's hurt in any way.
Well, then she can take up a complaint with the office if she needs to. But I mean, he needs to not be making bad choices. That's kind of foolish.
Yeah, I would agree. We had one of our party members, our friends here, go missing, and I'm going to point over my shoulder to Blackstone. Probably looks like he's been through the ringer at this point. We found him. Somebody spiked his drink. So who do we file a complaint on about that?
Well, you can put a complaint here. She pulls up this booklet of forms. Here's your complaint form. You can fill it out at your leisure.
I'm going
It's
to
a
look
lot
at
of paperwork.
and I'm going to look at her. Really?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get around this so that we can actually get something done?
Well, I'm
Make
not
a
allowed to go
bureaucracy.
around it. I get in trouble if I try to do that.
I'm not asking you to go around it. I'm asking you to point me at who can.
Only a Biotechnica corporate executive could do that, I think. We're about the only ones who are able to request alterations to the rules within our city. Well, in this half of the city, not the crummy
even
half.
if it's one of your citizens that spiked the drink.
Do you have proof of this?
Well, I'm going to pull out the cup and hold up the food. I said, I'm sure if you run tests on this, it's going to show the spiked substance or the substance that was used to give to him.
Sure, we can test that if you'd like.
Why don't you get me in touch with the detective, please, so that I can make sure I have proper chain of evidence on this.
Detective on which case? I was just going to give it over to the lab and see if they find anything on it for you.
And that's going to take, what, a week?
Depends on how busy they are.
Wondering whether a bribe is appropriate.
Hmm?
I said I'm wondering whether a bribe is appropriate or not, or whether that's just going to get my ass thrown in the jail.
You could do a human, is it human perception to see whether you think whether the character thinks that this person might come along?
Yeah, there's human perception, which would lead to basically you gauge the person and what's going on with them, who they are, stuff like that.
Second here, it's showing me having a mod of 2 for that. That would probably be from, yeah, I got the voice stress analyzer. I'm sure that
Yeah.
would help.
Yeah, in this regard, stuff like that does help.
Motherfucker. No, it's not gonna help at all.
Wow.
Can I file a complaint? Can I please file a complaint in regard to the number of ones that we have rolled
do we
in
need
the
to-
last
do we-
hour?
No.
Statistically, this is a bit of an
Very
anomaly.
anomalous.
Do we need to reboot the server or something?
5 ones in a row.
5, 6, 7,
Well, there is 1, 2 in there.
8.
See, I'm scared to roll myself because I know I'm the only one who isn't gonna roll a 1 right now, and if I do it now, I'm wasting it.
Wow.
6?
6 today.
6
Yep.
ones tonight.
Yep.
5
In,
of
what
them
is
in
that?
there's
8 or 9 rolls?
Yeah.
3 of them in a row at this point.
Yeah, it's more than
3 in a
half of our
row.
rolls.
Yeah.
All right,
Wow.
it's cool, bro.
So what do I think with the 9? Do I think they want a bribe?
Yeah, you know, corpos like their money.
You just got to phrase it right.
Well, see, my idea of how a bribe works has less to do with me giving money than it has to do with me peddling influence. Medias don't try to bribe with money. Medias try to bribe with how fair and just this corporate policing system is. When I tend to write up my story about how my visit to Arcadia went when I go back to Night City to tell them all about it. I just want to get my friend, and I want to be able to file my story and leave. That's all I'm looking for. I'd love to be able to give a glowing review of how this place handled the problem when their own citizenry tends to drug newcomers. Here's the cup if you'd like to run the test to prove that it's been drugged.
Thanks, I'll get that done. Picks up a bag, zips it, labels it, puts it down a chute.
That chute doesn't say incinerator somewhere, does it? Not like a puff of smoke or... Sorry. Couldn't help it.
Oh, you're good.
So, what are the most common law infractions here while I'm doing this? And I'm going to start, take out an agent and start... Might as well get some information from you about my story as for this anyway.
I mean...
There's nobody else standing in line here, is there?
There's currently, 3 other people in the lobby there. They're waiting.
They're sitting waiting. They've already been talked to, I'm sure. I'm making it obvious that I'm not going to move.
Mm-hmm.
Begin asking all kinds of inane questions. What the most problematic thing that tends to go on here is.
Lately, the most problematic has been loitering from medias in my area. You wouldn't happen to know any, would you?
I do.
Oh, you do?
Joe?
Yeah.
Do you have a middle name?
Not that you could pronounce.
Does it translate into stay in the van?
Yes.
He's gonna go back to the van.
I'm not sure it goes back to the van the whole time. Is just...
So, what is Stitcher and Blackstone going to do in this time?
So Blackstone's had to dip, as he is not doing well, and so he'll be on autopilot. I think that he would be supporting Harlan, and he would be probably going to see what other paperwork there might be there, maybe a character reference, and filling that in, and saying on the character reference, like, I was kidnapped effectively, like he was, saying I for him, and my companion thought that this course of action would be the way to go. It wasn't, but he was doing it to try and locate me. I think that he would do that, and
Okay.
probably also, like, say that, the way, like, maybe that Zid isn't from any place like this, and that he is probably not going to be knowledgeable of the way that things should be done.
Laws and rules for this place.
Right. I think that that's the way for the moment.
Okay, let's have him roll a bureaucracy. We'll see if he can make some progress.
Can I make a bureaucracy roll to bust my way through the complaint form in like 2.5 minutes?
Bureaucracy.
I could see that.
Oh, I think that I had edit on the old sheet, not on the new. So I can't do it.
Oh, you don't have his on the new one? Oh, you have... It looks like you have observer, not owner. Okay, that explains it.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to go ahead and pop my
16.
bureaucracy roll.
Not bad.
Two. Is that not showing up? Would there have been a reason why that roll wouldn't have shown up for me on the Forge?
I don't see a roll for it yet.
I thought
Sometimes when you pop out, it doesn't always stay connected fully because it's a add-in. It's not completely part of
Okay, so I will
Foundry.
drop out of that.
I mean, you can still reference everything there. It's just the rolling doesn't always work. Ooh.
There's me looking at the form, looking at it, and
You remember your parents talking about kind of the certain formats of where sections actually matter. So you hone in on the memory of your parents and their teaching and go to the sections that actually apply and matter and buzz through it fairly rapidly.
fill it out, turn it back in.
And Blackstone's able to make some progress on that, his as well.
Nice.
So, question for you. Should I make things awkward for Zid
Oh,
and give him a chance to make things potentially better or not?
so I'm fine to have all of the bad, but here's my caveat. I want to get the group back together and be able to do stuff that the group wants to do and not take too much spotlight.
That's part of why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I know that's what Matt would like. And there's an option I have foreseen that will let that happen.
Yeah, I dropped her name earlier.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
So, a Militech vehicle rolls up Harlan and goes behind the station while you're here. And Zid, you're let out and put in this Militech vehicle to be brought off to the actual prison of Arcadia
Oh, cool.
that is handled by Militech.
Perfect.
You're shoved in the back, and the door slams shut, and it drives off.
Wonderful.
Your eyes adjust, and you see this fairly well-built lady on the other side, arms crossed, looking at you. What kind of bad mistakes are you making in my city? You seemed like you'd be better than that yesterday when we spoke. What has happened?
He sort of he's blinking. He sort of puts his fingers to his eyes. He says, well, you know that other man, Blackstone, who
This
was
is trouble
with
one.
us.
Yes. What about the trouble one?
Well, he went missing last night, and he means a lot to me.
Told you he had trouble.
It is my belief that it was not his own doing, but something that he took.
Could be.
Perhaps it was out of politeness, but he drank some water, and I think that it was drugged.
see.
So, what does a man do but try to find the people that would sell and buy said things? So that's what I did. Try to
I don't think that
become
was.
a target for them.
I do not think that was the most prudent choice that you made. But I do
Apparently
understand your
not.
desires. We'll tell you what. Make offer for you. You and I go and have date. Go have coffee. And maybe we can talk and figure things out.
Alright, Mom. Alright.
She punches the wall in head, and the driver flips the gate open. Go to John's Coffee. We will need to have a coffee time there. So we go drink. All right. Detours off. Harlan, you did see this Militech truck pull in behind the station and then pull out. Do you react at all, or do you just stay inside?
Well, I mentioned Militech already, and I mentioned a particular Militech guard, so I'm probably going to go take a look at the very least. I'm not going to try to interfere because I don't want shot by Militech. They don't miss.
So you see the Militech vehicle heading straight for the prison. Like, there's this building that is like absolutely just gray and Militech like locked down.
Oh, look, giant cube.
Basically their big fortress. Yeah, you know they probably have an armory in there, barracks in there. It's not getting out of there. However, all of a sudden the truck just like veers and goes off somewhere else.
There's not much I can do about that. I'm going to go back inside here.
No, but the fact that it didn't go where it was heading, clearly heading, and made a very awkward turn.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that I'm going to go and check out.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go right back up to the thing and hand, like I said, hand in the paperwork for my complaint. Look right at him and say, by the way, how do I determine whether or not you've transferred custody of a prisoner from this location to Militech?
Well, if you have the prisoner number, I can go ahead and look it up for you and see what we can find.
I have the person's name. I don't have a prisoner number. You would have assigned it to my friend when he was arrested earlier today.
Did he have you as his contact on his form?
Zed, who would you have filled out as the contact for your form, knowing that Blackstone was missing at the time you were arrested?
What was the terminology on the form?
There wasn't one.
There wasn't one? It was just like person of contact?
Yeah, they didn't pick you up with anyone, so the guard who was unhappy with you when you rolled a 1 decided he'd fill out the form for you and gave you just a default number and
then,
give you no contact.
Obviously I haven't filled anything out because probably says John Doe.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Might have me on it. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
no,
trying to find out if he was transferred.
I will see. You give me your name and I go see if anyone has you as your contact. Takes your name,
My
goes
name
and
is
looks.
on the complaint as far as that goes already. It's associated with this whole setup. You've already gotten it twice now.
Well, you know, you can always do a third time. Got to make sure it's correct.
I really wonder at this point what the penalty here is for public defecation.
Oh, we usually do execution for that, or turning into fertilizer.
Spot where this paper goes in, you know. And I'm just going to shake my head. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to walk back out. She can go look all she wants. She's not being helpful at all. However, did they have a name tag?
They had an employee number.
Okay. I'm going to make sure that that gets recorded down into my agent before I walk off.
Okay.
So, go outside. Look left, look right.
You see Adjo going back to his van. Adjo, you nearly got ran over by a Militech vehicle heading back to your van.
Ajo, is this something currently happening? Something that
It just happened.
or-
It just happened. This Militech vehicle just like blows by you, nearly knocks you, over, and then just skids around a corner up ahead.
Question: Was I fighting for Militech?
I don't know that you knew the corporation. If I remember correctly in your background, you said it was a corporation. You didn't necessarily know which one it was, because I believe they kept themselves kind of shadowed.
I mean, Ajo would probably be like pissy about it, but not do much else. Kind of just
Learn to drive, you dick, and give him the finger.
Yep.
Shortly thereafter, I'm probably going to come jogging up.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
It wasn't given a actual corporation because the people did it as kind of a shadow op thing. So you knew it was a corpo, you just didn't know which corpo.
Yeah.
Which is also why they tried to clean it up afterwards.
So I'll probably.
Are you subtly hinting that they tried to eradicate all of my unit?
That was part of what, that's in your backstory when we were talking, you kind of said that they did some cleanup and you guys kind of broke up and separated at that point. Your unit did.
Got it. Okay.
And I'll jog back up to Ajo. Go, sorry about that. Having to act like a corpo for even a few minutes just sets my teeth on edge. It didn't mean to take it out on you. By the way,
Goes, I thought that was just part of the appearance. I was trying to help you.
well, yes and no. I'm being honest about it. I was kind of on edge. I'm sorry about that. One of these days, you'll have to teach me how to pronounce your middle name.
I don't have a middle name. Then Ajo just turns back to the van and goes, "You coming home, man?"
Sure. Did you see which way the Militech vehicle went? I saw it veer off over there after it almost hit you. I think Zid's in there because they won't give me any.
Why the fuck did you? And Ajo runs to the van. Let's go! Come on!
You guys, this is why I love you guys and why I love tabletop games. What other game can you do this kind of madness in?
All right, I'm gonna go hop in the van. Dragging Blackstone.
All right, no.
Be going. Stop commiserating life without pheromone drugs.
We have Blackstone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, where did everybody else go?
I don't know where Stitcher and Blackstone went. Matt said that Azrael was not feeling well and needed to duck out a bit. I don't know what happened with Verdant.
Yeah, he seems to have just popped out. Might be an internet thing, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what.
It seems like an internet thing. I'll message him real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna just boost the vehicle after the Militech.
Well, we're gonna have you do something that is very difficult for you. Drive land vehicles to see how well you maneuver, how quickly you go.
Let's get a 1, baby.
Well, let's see.
get a
You have a
1.
12, but then you add your 4 moto, so that means you're at a 16 base.
Drive land vehicle. Confirm.
That's why in your mods you have that +4 from your moto. 25.
Did I even get the +4? Yeah.
Oh, the +4 is automatic.
Okay.
That's why I was telling you, when you click it, it pops up, and you'll see on the bottom, it has a total mods 4. If you add luck, that 4 will change.
Ah, got it. Okay. So 25.
stuff.
Get wrecked.
But
As they say.
yes, that's the benefit of the Nomad for those watching. The Nomads add their role rank of Moto to any driving skill. So even if they're not skilled in water, land, or air vehicles, they still get to add their Moto rank to that role. Hence the 25 that Adjo did. Adjo, you make this vehicle look like it's a lightweight performance vehicle, like a Ferrari or something. You're just like, you just go zipping off around the corner.
She's just got big bones.
It's a big sports car. Nice.
The rest of you in the car are not ready for this and are nearly floored. But it's done with such precision that you're okay. You didn't actually get knocked out of your seat and stuff because it was so expertly maneuvered. But you guys are like flying. You've never seen a vehicle respond like this without being Neuralinked into someone for control. You've never even heard of it. You buzz around the corner. Let's have you do a perception check to see how quickly you find your target.
Can I get assistance from from Harlan if he's in the front with me?
Yeah, I'm looking.
All right, perception, you said?
Yeah. Not bad.
15.
So you're able to pick them up,
Ooh.
and Harlan's like, yeah, that's the van. And so you guys skid to it. You see they're parked in front of a coffee shop.
Oh. No need to do the crash and smash.
I Joe like kind of I goes, oh, I thought that was going to be, I don't know, more.
You remember, you see, we got pulled in as we were coming into the city, and Militech interrogated us a bunch, and this particular guard took a liking to Zed's skinny ass. I think she's probably gonna spring him. He's probably in there having a nice long conversation with her right now. So I think we should just kind of wait here, see what happens.
Okay. And Adjo just reclines.
I'm gonna go in and order. I'm gonna go in and order a coffee to go just to see if I can see them in the place.
Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna get 1, 2. I'm gonna need 4.
Okay. So yeah, you go in and order some coffees, and let's see. Yeah, it'd be perception. Have you roll a perception roll when you go in there? Not bad.
Very good.
So as you're going in, you see the Militech guy on the porch. There's some outside tables. He's sitting right near the porch, and you see he has a fairly large "don't mess with me" gun sitting on his lap. It's a heavy assault rifle, fully loaded, and he's just sitting there sipping on his coffee. And but you being in media and being used to people, you know, targeting you and beating you, you know he's watching you very carefully, seeing how you're acting. You can tell he's on break, but he's also a lookout.
I'll just kind of nod at him as I go by and go and order my coffee.
Yep. Let's see.
Yes, you can come up here, whiny little bitch.
I think they have it under here. I thought they had food and stuff under one of these categories, and I can't remember which one it was. Oh, here we go. Do they have drink in here? I know they mentioned it in the book, but I don't know if they have it here on Foundry. And things go ways you weren't expecting, right? So yeah, you go and order your coffees. And it's they're like, it's good. So for the 4 coffees, it's going to be €8, please.
Let me give him 10.
And you want to dock that? You want me to?
No, I got it.
Cool. And I think you hit the wrong number.
Oh, I told him, you said it was 8. I'm giving him 10.
Ah, got it. Tip.
You know, and I leave the tip as far as that goes and go.
Nice.
What's
Appreciate
with the
it.
What's with the Militech outside?
She kind of like nods to the corner, and you see another large Militech lady who looks
Very familiar.
very familiar, very much like a certain gang that we mentioned from 2077. And yeah, she's sitting over there drinking her coffee, and seems like she's talking to someone that you can't quite see.
I'm going to very loudly go, and then the name of this establishment again for my story, far louder than I need to, just to make sure that whoever's in that corner can hear me.
We're called Joe's Coffee.
I'm gonna tap into my agent. Thank you very much. And I gather up my coffees. Go back outside. Zid, you definitely, if you're in that establishment, you just heard me. You know
Yeah.
I'm here.
Gotcha.
He's being spoken to very directly and very passionately, shall we say. So Zid, how does Zid feel about going on this impromptu date?
I mean, he ain't happy, but he's happier than he would be in a jail cell.
Yeah.
I don't like you, but at least you're better than jail.
I mean, he wouldn't say that, but yeah. So like, he's just, I don't know. He's putting his best foot forward.
I don't think she wants your foot forward.
Shut up, you.
So Zid, tell me, what is it you do in your travels? What brings you this way to Arcadia?
He says, some say my skill set is net runner. When I started, I did not know of this term. I just did that.
I see.
I happen to, how you say, catch the attention of certain corporations with my above standard skill in that area. I see you are employed like this. What about you? What did you do before?
Well, technically, I used to actually work for Solve Oil. You know Solve Oil?
Would it know? I'm assuming maybe?
You probably would have heard about it. I don't know that you really would have known much about them.
He goes, I'd heard of it, but don't know.
Solve Oil is basically the Soviet oil company.
Right.
They make their fuels. And I think they've gotten the rights to do Chew too. But them and Biotechnica are kind of competitors.
I gotcha.
I used to be a member in the Solve Oil security team, but I got a better offer from Militech, and Militech said they want to put me here for some reason. I don't understand, since my former comrades and don't necessarily get along with Biotechnica very well. But here I am because it's my position. But you know, you try to make money to live, right? You got to have the Eurobox to pay the bills and not go starve.
Yep.
It knows all too well.
Yeah,
Did you-
man.
Did you grow up in Combat Zone 2?
Here's you could say that I've been running before I even came out of the womb.
I see. Well, in Soviet Russia, where Solvoil was, I did have to do Combat Zone 2. That's where I grew up as a little girl, until corporate find me and make me be their soldier. But yes, it's not easy life. You got to do what you have to do to survive. You use your brain, I had to use my brawn. It's not ideal, but you got to make most of life, or you don't have life.
Yeah, he knows all about that. So, yeah, this is ringing for him.
Well, I hope I get to move on to new post soon, but till then I hear. I think it best if you not be seen in town more, though I disappoint to say that. I would like to see you in town, but I think it better for you to not go prison and be locked up. Unless you have good pay of lawyer, friend.
Says, I don't have any reason to stay here other than present company. He says, we came here because the poster, or at least our information, said that it was an agricultural center, man, not because of any of this stuff that I have seen while here, and it hasn't been that. Because we wanted food and water. But it seems this was not the place.
Well, what do you have for monies to buy these things? You have plenty of money to buy these things, or are you short on money for these things?
He says, I think you would find that our resources are more than adequate.
Very good. If you have the money, I think if you want, I could go and arrange to pick some up and have you go out of city another way and possibly get you some foods and things to get you on your way to keep you safe. I do not like the idea of seeing you go to prison.
He says, and what, pray tell, might I need to do or say for you? These things do not come cheap, at least those in the combat zone.
Yeah. Just show me that you have the money so I can make the call. And we just spend time waiting for them to get ready while having coffee sitting here nicely with your company. That is all. Not many people here understand the surviving combat zone or have intellect that I enjoy the company of.
Okay, human perception.
15. Actually, she's being sincere.
Okay.
She
He's down.
actually is enjoying Zed and likes him and is trying to help him out, but doesn't
Okay.
have the money to necessarily fund what he needs. So I was asking if he can fund that, but is willing to arrange it otherwise.
So our money comes in like sticks, chips and stuff.
Yeah.
So Zid would make the universal sign for trade, and you could just tap the cred sticks to transfer money, right? Like
Yeah.
Just,
There's stuff you can do like
so
that.
he would say just a down payment for now, and he would transfer 200 Eurobucks.
Okay. So due to the location we're at, they have large moisture farms. I can get either food or water for a day supply for 10 Eurobuck. How much is it you want?
That's cheap.
Well, it basically is increased value on water.
Yeah, that's cheap.
Yeah.
Well, by the way,
So
coffee back to everybody else.
I think water is more of a problem. Like we can scavenge probably for food, but
And I bought a
water
bunch of
is-
MREs as well too. So.
yeah.
Yeah, you guys currently have 35 food and 26 water.
Yeah. He would just say water at this stage.
Very good. How much water is it you need?
So he's gonna pay down 200 at this stage.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be 20 units.
Correct.
I'm gonna look at Blackstone and go, do you have Harlan's agent number? Or Harlan wants to know if you, Blackstone, have Zid's agent number so we can call him.
Oh, Blackstone would definitely have it. And probably Zid wouldn't have been like coy to give it out to people that he's gotten to know.
Yeah, I haven't asked for it yet though, so
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Yeah, Blackstone would definitely have it.
I'm just gonna say message him and find out if everything's okay or whether we gotta instigate a prison break.
Okay. So as Zid's having this chat about supplies, a little text message comes in. Bing.
Do you mind?
No, it's fine. It's maybe your friend's trying to check on you. I understand. If they think you're going to prison to go get yourself beaten, I could see why they'd be concerned. You're not exactly large man, but you're very large man. You know what I mean?
I see.
Penis.
He says albeit that my current choices do not point in that direction, but thank you. So he would just go, yep, all good, stand down, under control sort of stuff.
All right.
Okay, good.
So yeah, how much water is it you guys are wanting to get? Water and food. It's 10 Eurobucks per unit. Zid has already covered the cost of 20 units of water.
How long of a trip is it still from here to where we're going in Night City?
Let's see.
Assuming that we are not stopping in any other cities like this. I want to pick up what we need to here and I want to go straight to Night City, barring bandits on the road.
Probably 5-ish days. And it depends on if there's delays
Say
or
7
sidetracks.
days. So we need at least, say, 40 units.
We have 26. You just bought 20 more.
So probably got enough. Do we want an oversupply?
I mean, if we can get it at cost here, I would say, hold on. Ajo, do we have enough fuel to make it from here to Night City, or do we need to refuel that too?
You will need to fill up unless you can find another nomad camp. If you're able to
We're gonna
get
need
to
more
one of your nomad family camps, another folk nation camp, you can get fueled up. That's part of the, you're doing work, you help out by the family. That's your motto.
Pers-
That's
sorry.
my ninja way. My ninja. I say, yeah, we're probably going to need to get another one unless we can find another Folk Nation camp. That's not
Guaranteed.
guaranteed.
So we definitely need to fuel up before we leave.
So he would pitch. I think we should pitch for 50 units, because that gets us 10 days, right? Like, so even if we have to like rest and stuff, we should be okay. So 10 more units of water, about 20 more units of food, which is 300 credits, 300 euro bucks from the stash, and then probably another ding comes onto Sid's thing saying fuel, and so he would ask about that with her. You're muted, I think, DM.
I could probably get some of that. Is there a certain kind you need, or just the standard choo-choo?
It's choo-choo, right?
Yeah,
Okay, if standard choo-choo, I should be able to get some. Do you have good can to put in, or do you need it in a container?
He sort of shrugs and says, "Well, man, Ajo is the man who would know that I can press my foot on the accelerator. I know the wheels go round. That's about."
I understand. I'm not a big driver either. It's I do more the shooting than the driving. You know, I like
Well,
the
you shot
large
straight
guns.
in this case.
All right. So, how much fuel is it you want to have, and how much food and water?
So as I said, he's already paid for 200.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be another 300 units. So it'll be 10 units of water, 20 more units of food, for a total of 300 euro bucks. As far as fuel, I mean, you would be the best person to know. Like another full tank, or
Well, that's what I was asking. Like,
2 full tanks.
I'm not asking you
5
how much money-wise in that regard for fuel, but how much fuel is it you guys are wanting to do? Because you also need to keep in mind, the more you're putting in the van, the more cramped it's getting.
Yeah, I think a full tank. What do you reckon, Acho?
Yeah, probably a full tank, just in case something happens. Because if we have to take another detour.
Detours never happen in Cyberpunk. Ever.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. A tank of fuel.
All right. So yeah, we'll say
How
there's...
are you doing over there, Verdant? You doing okay? Oh, we haven't come across to you for a few minutes.
I mean, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, finally. I don't know what it's been tonight, but VDO has just been kicking me out, bringing me back in, kicking me out, bringing me back in, kicking me out, bringing me back in.
I'm sorry, dude.
It's nothing you guys did, as far as I can tell. I think it was just today my internet decided to not play nice.
Yeah.
As far as like what was going on, I did have an idea earlier, but I think because I was still in that horrible internet cycle, I just had no shot.
It's okay.
Is it still prevalent, or
Not anymore.
it's past? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm doing good. Just yeah, it was very unfortunate for like 20 minutes worth.
Yeah, and we're gonna be probably taking a break here fairly soon too.
Yes, I was actually about to do that. What's up, Mixed Nuts?
No, that's what I was actually about to say as well.
Yep. So we can actually do that now, and we will pick up right after break. We'll have about a 10-minute break. Be sure to join us back, and we'll continue this exciting episode of Zid Gets Coffee.
We'll find out whether it's hot coffee.
Pretty sure it's real hot. If it's possible after break to focus on these others, I would really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So, well, our good friend Zid enjoys his coffee with his associate. She gets a message out to her contact and then sends tells Zid to send you guys a message on where to go to pick it up, as well as to pay the extra 400. She sent the 200 to the person, so it's the other 400 that is taken out of the stash already. And so you guys, at Joe, actually Blackstone would get the message, unless Zid has someone else's number. But he gets the message to head out there, and so passes the directions on to Adjo of where to go. So the four of you can go pick that up while Zid chills out in the coffee shop, being romanced by a big Russian woman.
I messaged Harlan asking if he wants to come along.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna come back, and I'm coming back out with the coffee shortly after I mean, I came back out to the van. I'm probably there immediately.
Yeah, Harlan said he was
So
hanging out in the van
when
with
he
you
gets-
with coffee.
When he gets into the van, Adjo goes, "Thanks for the coffee." Thanks. And it goes, "I'm messing with you." What are we picking up?
Food, water.
This
fuel.
is like an hour or so of you guys waiting in the car, like sipping on your coffees, making small chat. If there's anything you guys want to say that you talked about during that time, feel free to roleplay it. Otherwise, we can fast forward.
I'm gonna try to figure out how I can give Adjo a middle name and figure out one that's appropriate, just to irritate him.
So, in the middle of that, I would ask, do you think that you're gonna be able to find her?
Yeah, I do. I think she knew too much, but I think she also had enough safeguards in place that they couldn't just kill her. She's a smart lady.
That's true. Smarter than me.
I will say something on that, Harlan. You have intimate knowledge of the fact that Life Tech doesn't like wasting any resource, and humans are just a resource to them.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna. That's not comforting. Therefore, I'm not going to
No.
say it.
But I'm just saying, like, Harlan knew that it's highly probable she's not dead.
Well, more than likely, they've probably put her into some similar type experiment to what they were doing to us. Once again, not comforting. Therefore, I'm not going to say that. But like what they did for
You get the sense that he'd probably appreciate the honesty from you. Like, Adjo, as sweet as he might be sometimes, and as, you know, playful, he told you, like, on the drive here over the time period that you've known each other, he's a combat vet.
So while we're going to go get the fuel, then I'm going to just kind of lean over and go, Life Tech doesn't waste resources. They would view Angela as a resource to be used if possible. People are just resources to them.
I don't like the thought of her being an experiment, but
I didn't like being in the stasis pod either. That's why Blackstone was somebody I went and found. That's why Zid was somebody I was going to make sure didn't get thrown in prison, even if I had to break him out, because I might have spent the whole rest of my existence in one of those stasis pods without their intervention. There's a reason why I barely know these people, yet I'm willing to put my fucking skin on the line for them. They didn't have to let us all out. They could have just left themselves, and instead they set everybody who was in them fucking things loose.
I'm not saying that they're not worth the effort. I'm just... I got burned a lot putting a lot of effort into people.
And you're impatient to get to what you need to have done. You need to find out where she is anyway. I mean, she's important to you for a different reason than she's important to me. But she's just as important to me for my reasons.
She's important. Period.
See, and that's what I'm trying to get across to everybody who's outside the corporation, that most people in a corporation don't think that if you're not a corpo, you're a resource rather than a person. That's the whole goal of my entire career, is to make them corporate bastards realize that everyone is important, not just a poker chip to be thrown about and spent on this or that. It's what I do.
Enough goal. Not quite realistic. But
No,
you know,
I could have spent my whole life in corporate luxury being a corporate shill, eating real food instead of kibble or synthetics. And I choose to do this. Noble?
people call me stupid.
Oh, I didn't say it was a smart thing to do, but it's got to be done.
No one ever faulted Harlan for being smart.
No,
No argument from me though.
it's not necessarily smart, but there really isn't a wisdom stat in this game.
So you get to this gas station. It looks old. It's been retrofitted to handle Chew, but it looks like it existed before that, which is the address you're given to go to.
Mhm.
Or you see this like scrawny but muscular guy. Looks like he's been out in the sun too long, wearing nothing but overalls, standing out there.
Human beef jerky, got it.
I wave to him and I go, you
How you doing? Are you here to see Willie's about getting some food, water, and gasoline? Well, I guess they don't call it that no more. What do you call it? Fuels. Is that what you're all here to do?
Yeah,
yeah, sure.
Well,
friend of ours
Sonny.
sent you a message.
Yeah. My friend there, yeah, she sent me a message saying you guys got some dealings you want to do. You guys think she sent me 200 euro bucks. We're gonna need about another 400 euro bucks for you guys. You guys got that there?
Out with the cred stick, clunk.
Oh, excellent. Well, come on back, youngins. I'll show you where the stuff is at. Opens the garage, shows you guys the food that has been marked for you guys. And the fuel. You see this guy has guns and fuel and ammo, and like his garage where you'd normally fix vehicles is like a undercover like market of all sorts of stuff.
Oh, hold on here. There seems to be far more available here than what I was told. Do you mind if we browse?
It depends what kind of money you got on you. You know, I gotta make a living. So if you're willing to spend your credits, I guess you can take a look. Just don't touch anything. Some of the stuff has already been spoken for, and I can't necessarily break my word now. You understand that, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah, right.
Unless, of course, you're getting paid.
Well, you youngins behave yourselves. Take a look around. This is your stuff right here, all ready to go for you. You can load up when you're ready.
I'm gonna message Zed real quick on my agent. I'm gonna look at Blackstone and say, "Give me Zed's number," and I'm gonna literally ask him, "What are you looking for guns? This guy's got an armored."
Sid, you get this ping back from Harlan.
And it would pop up basically.
So, I think that Zid doesn't really know yet is the thing, because I mean he's just been using whatever the heck he's come across, but he would. he would put a singular word in, right? May I use the word for the for this source, which is again
This fixer.
the lumber wood chipper's garage, whatever.
Yeah.
Could I say like wood chipper weapons or something? Is that
No,
a thing?
the wood chippers stuff is actually a CD PR, so Cyberpunk Red, not CD Projekt Red. It's a Cyberpunk Red release from RTG, Art Just Learning Games, that they came out with. So it's basically a free DLC they created, and they just called it Wood Chipper's Garage.
There's a Sternmeyer, the crafter here.
Which one were you looking at?
The heavy rifle.
The MO2 heavy rifle? Yeah.
Sternmeyer is what you were talking about last week. AOT
So,
it was.
So yeah, I don't know whether Zid would know about this. Can I quickly make a check to see whether Zid would know? Like,
Sure.
Make a what is that?
Start talking guns with the solo that's in front of you.
Is there a weapons tech or something?
I mean, that's kind of mentioned a
Weapons
decent
tech.
option. But yeah, there's weapons tech.
Yeah. What was the other option?
Start talking guns with the solo lady in front of you.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad idea. Yeah, like okay, that's a good idea. I like that. So he would sort of go. It seems that my companions are surprised by the sort of stock that they might have come across.
You mean good old Willy? Willy has lots of good things, yes. He is good contact. I like
and
Willy.
Zid would like talk to this woman a little bit about the struggle that he's had recently. He wouldn't say that he's been in a life tech facility, but he would say that he had to like make an escape, right? And that he was stuck with like pistols that he didn't really know how to use. He will say that, as she would know, that life on the combat zone was just fleeting, and that he's basically just made like grenade bouquets and like set off fire extinguishers and stuff to escape. And he says he's looking for a big gun, like maybe the size of a grenade launcher, but that doesn't shoot grenades, that shoots single bullets that he can maybe take out a single target with. And whether she might know of anything that can do that. He says he's got he uses grenades.
Yeah. Well, I have to think back to when raising up. I did find at one point a rocket rifle with I had my friend modify it so I could use. It was really fun. It was great. It was kind of like a mix between rifle and rocket launcher. I do like rocket launcher. They're very nice and large, but sometimes you need something a little bit smaller for indoor. They don't have much of that nice explosive things here, though, so I have to find other things. No, it's understandable, but sometimes a little sad, right? You want the good things you grew up with. What you make most, yes?
He just nods.
Well... let's see.
I almost got shot with one of those grenades the last time.
Right.
I'm gonna look at Billy and go, "Do you have anything that's a heavy weapon, that's single target, so that my friend doesn't blow my ass up or my friend's van up if he's got to shoot nearby?"
Yeah, like Zid'll send back just like that. Yeah, he will say like single target big.
Guns aren't my thing. I do shotguns. By the way, you want to buy this piece of shit?
So I do like this rifle here, but I don't think you quite have size for it. She pulls out this massive rifle. It's the BMG 500 that tends to be mounted.
No, too big.
No. This is the lady talking with Zed. This is my current friend. I do like it.
Little baby.
The problem is you must have, big muscles to use. I don't think you're quite able to handle it. You're very fit, but not very large, so we say, in the muscles of the arms.
Thank you, but no, thank you. I believe that such
however-
capable things in capable hands.
Oh, thank you. My hands are very capable. Maybe I can show you. But I did see a similar one that is a little smaller that could be had. There's two options I can think of. There's the assault rifle option that is made by a company, Stiermacher. I can't say your words in English very well. But it's made only with armor-piercing rounds, so it is more expensive, but it is not quite the size of, my beauty here. There is also here of a rare sniper rifle from back old times that is shoots a large round. That is could be used as well. So are you looking for more like assault rifle like this, or are you looking for more like sniper rifle?
I think he would say that while a sniper rifle sounds great with setup, he says normally it seems like I'm constantly on the run. I don't think that I'm gonna be able to get into a position where I can do that. So maybe the assault rifle style thing that I can pull out would be better.
Then you should probably want to see if you can find the weapon like I talk about. That is a that words. The MO2 rifle. It is a small version of what I have, but it is a little easier to handle.
You after when you're in the middle of talking to Willie, you get another ding and it says MO2.
Got one of these?
Oh, you mean you're talking? Sorry, give me a second.
Sorry, I sounded like a goddamn commie for a second. Yeehaw!
Into your ride.
Sorry about that. Yeah, well, I mean, let me see what I can find. I got all sorts of weapons right here. I mean, I got some Arasaka prototype assault rifles here, too. You know what I mean? They kind of fell off their vehicle. You know how that happens. Honky-dory.
It's called smuggling.
No, it is not. I don't sink to that kind of thing. I just find when the raiders in the area tend to hit a Militech or Arasaka or any sort of convoy.
Got it.
Well, no, I mean, I wouldn't say a vulture. I just don't think the sand needs to acquire goods that it doesn't know how to properly use, and I could bring these fine things along and pass them along to fine folks like yourselves who could actually put them to use.
No shame in being proud of what you are, man.
I'm proud of being an opportunist. Why do you think I live this long?
Yeah, that's what I said.
No, you said vulture, I said opportunist. They're very, very different. You understand the difference in the semantics of these things, young man.
If a vulture is a scavenger, that's literally an opportunity eater.
I'm gonna reach out, just go, Aja. Maybe he has good car parts here too. You should check.
I know what you're doing.
That's okay. You can know what I'm doing.
And I go check the card parts.
Okay, you can know what I'm doing. Just go do it.
You can know what I'm doing, but you're not going to be able to resist.
I know what his kryptonite is. Better equipped vehicle.
Yeah, no, he does have some Like, this guy has stuff he shouldn't have. Now, it's not a guarantee he has what you're looking for. That we trust
In the
dice. For the
Don't
dice
roll one,
knows
yeah.
all. The dice is the master of our fates.
Well, what am I rolling?
So, well, first off, for your MO2 rifle that you guys said you're looking for, we're going to have someone roll. Who wants to roll for it?
I've been doing the negotiating. I'll do it. Just want me to roll a d10.
Roll a d10, sir.
So that's /red d10.
Yep.
Ugh.
He has it.
That's the right way.
You're not rolling what you think you're rolling. You're rolling what I know you're rolling.
Okay. I'm not going to argue that.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat. I was going to clarify a little more, but then I didn't want to, hack in your ears anymore.
That's fine.
I liked what I saw a guy do. He suggested to utilize luck. Do luck rules where you roll at or under your luck stat. So you have to roll below your luck stat to succeed.
Oh.
It's a cool way of using luck to determine if something lucky happens or not.
Okay, cool. That works.
Because
Oh.
there's not really another mechanic to determine it. So I like that.
How much for this? 50 rounds of ammo, too.
Well, it doesn't come like that, sir. You gotta understand here, okay? You don't understand what you're even asking for. Have you ever even seen an MO2?
No, but I'm using your friend to get my information from.
What? You didn't get all the information. I think you have a problem called playing the game of telephone, which I don't think you know how to play correctly. So let me go ahead and lay it out for you so you understand things a little bit better. You still seem to be very technically inclined when it comes to weapons.
This is an agent.
It
What's
is.
a telephone?
Yes. Oh, kid these days don't understand nothing anymore. They're so stupid. I just don't all these things. Trying to tell them you're smart and they just don't get it. And just come here.
Teach me.
He opens up this Militech crate and it has this very nice MO2 in it. You see it's stamped with Sternmeyer arms. He's like, I put this Sternmeyer inside a Militech crate so people don't think it's a Sternmeyer. See how that works. So, if you look here, you see this nice large round magazine, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a drum. Yeah, it's called a drum magazine. Now, if you look at it, this one actually holds 80 rounds of armor-piercing rounds. These are custom special rounds that this rifle requires to shoot. Can't use other rounds, it uses its rounds.
Ammo. Okay.
So you buy them in sets of 80. Now, each set of 80 rounds requires 500 Eurobucks standard usage. The rifle usually goes at 1,000 Eurobucks. However, depending on what all you're willing to buy, I might be able to talk about some sort of deal. Maybe I'll mark it up. I don't know yet.
I'm gonna go to the van. I'm gonna I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna be like, come here. I'm gonna open up the stash and say, you might be the kind of guy who can move this armor that we can't get rid of anywhere else.
Laugh Tech. Oh, that stuff stinks. I don't know that I won't touch that either. That stuff's dirty. Laugh Tech is one dirty company.
I know, that's why I'm trying to bring him down. Anyhow.
Well, I can look him over. Pull him out, bring him in the shop. I'll look him over, see what I can do. But,
and I'm gonna message Zed real quick, willing to sell the turret.
So I know somebody in the group that wouldn't be. But he's not here right now.
The difference is that I think the turret requires too much setup time to be
Yeah.
useful.
Oh, Zid's down. Like we need stuff that we can use, and you know, being stuck with something that can easily kill his teammates is not Zid's idea of fun. So
No,
yes, he is.
What do you
definitely
mean?
doing
It's
this.
wonderful.
I'm then going to shift a few more things, and I'm going to pull out the turret. Interested in that?
Well, I'll bet you that's an interesting little thing you got there. You know, we'll bring that in here too. I'll take a look. That one's a lot more probable. I don't think I have a use for
I'm going to
that.
throw the turret up over my shoulder. I'm going to tuck the other armors under my arm, and I'm going to walk off. I think Body 8 should hopefully be able to manage that.
It'll be rough, but yeah, you can manage it. It's rough because it's bulky and heavy. It's not just like heavy. It's also, you know, when you get something, even if it's not necessarily very heavy, how it's like bulky, awkward, like trying to hold it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
finding the balance point.
Yeah.
Bring him on into the shop, set him up on his work table, or wherever he points me to put him.
Yeah. Which he seems thrilled to let you do the manual labor since he's who knows how old?
You said, I believe the description you gave to me, I responded with, yes, human beef jerky. Got it.
Yeah. All right, let me take a look over here at this stuff. And you guys find anything else you're looking for over there? Or are you just pretty happy just chilling and seeing what I can find out of this?
I'm sure Ajo wants something to enhance his vehicle. What you got here?
Well, what's the price wise for stuff like that? Because like I'm not really that concerned.
Yeah, it depends on what it is you're looking for. A lot of the prices are listed.
I mean, I'm not really looking for anything either.
Okay.
I don't know enough to want anything. Except maybe a vehicle mounted weapon. That would be like the one thing, because I don't think we have that.
Don't want to modify the turret, huh?
No.
Well, they're selling it.
We also don't want to modify that turret because that turret requires us to be able to be hooked to the net. That would make your fucking van a node that any net runner could access if they wanted to. You don't
Which wouldn't be good.
Not at all.
Yeah, our own net runners in the corner going, no.
Zid doesn't want anything to do with
could be
mobile
fun.
net running platforms. No, I said that a while back.
It could be fun. You never know.
I think that'd
Uh-huh.
be amazingly difficult.
No.
Yeah. While Ajo is taking a look and Harlan is haggling / doing manual labor, Stitcher will be taking a look for any medical supplies or anything unusual that hasn't been marked for customers. Like, well, you know, I got this interesting thing. I just don't know who to give it to, but I might be able to sell it to you for a sweet deal, you know?
How interesting. Black Chrome has a lot of interesting devices. I'm gonna see if they have any more vehicle upgrades that we can consider.
I mean, I'm literally like a basic vehicle weapon is fine. Because the only thing that I don't think is sustainable about my vehicle is if we get in combat, it doesn't have any of its own defensive systems. It just has evasive systems.
You would literally have to roll down the windows and fire. Yeah.
Exactly. And then why did I get bulletproof glass?
Exactly.
All right, so there is a number of weapons that say require body 11 unless mounted. So those are all built to be mounted on a vehicle. So take a look. If there's any of those you want to go for, let me know.
Where I don't know how to.
Link.
Is it? Where do I look at stuff?
In the weapons category under the compendium. I know there's some under Black Chrome as well. Compendium is the book
I just shot you a
with
link.
a symbol and... Oh, you got him one?
Yeah, I just shot him a link. Direct DM. Get him
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
on Discord.
So, Solvoil actually has a medical lubricant.
What page am I looking for?
I'll give you a specific page in just a second.
Let's see. Not seeing any vehicle attachments there.
I mean, it really doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
Like, just a cheap, usable one. That's literally all I want.
Okay.
I don't want to.
There's not a lot of cheap when you get to that size.
Okay, well then.
An
never
example
mind.
of one is
We're not
the
gonna get one.
EMG-86 railgun. It requires it to be mounted or body 11. It costs 5,000, but does 5d6 damage,
Never
and it
mind.
ignores any armor below SP11. So it literally is punching through armor like crazy.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
But we ain't got that kind of money yet.
That's the downside to a lot of those mounted guns, is there stuff like that. Now you could look to see if you could mount a grenade launcher, but then you have similar issues, or a rocket launcher.
Nah, I'm not worried about it.
We'll just roll down the windows and shoot.
Okay.
We lost Matt in the hat.
Yep.
Sid.
No, we lost Sid. Right, I was going to find something in here. Get that right.
Yeah. What?
So I'm gonna look up what that turret costs. It's under this section here.
Like I've disappeared on your.
Yes. And you came back, and apparently it shifted your URL. So let me throw that back in.
Reload
Oh, good man.
my video.
Still not
And
showing for me.
that should be back in just a moment.
Yay.
Here we go. It's all good, man. Stuff happens. Where's the net room? There we go. 2-0. Automated turret. Where's the pricing on that? Are you not going to give me prices? Apparently not.
We can sort it out for next time, or
Yeah, I was gonna just quickly look so I could give you guys a price range of how much it was worth, so you guys knew how much you had to spend. But if I can't find it here in another 15 seconds, I'm just gonna call in and find out later. But
yeah, they might give us like a trade between this turret and another one, but they might not as well. Like
Right.
an automated one.
is there any other things you guys are looking for? Because I mean, he would have potentially other things. It's just, what all are you guys looking to do?
No, don't have anything.
Things that I want to ask This guy's a physical weapons dealer. He's not an information broker.
I mean, probably has some information, but not necessarily the sort that you're going for.
Yeah, not what I'm looking for.
Interesting. Oh, defenses. Okay. So we'd have to use that as a reference to how much it would cost. Interesting. Okay. DV17. Which would mean they're saying it costs about 5,000 potentially for the turret. If you were to buy it new and it was all working and set up. This one is not that. It is kind of more Jimmy rigged, but it still is a turret. It's just not going to be the full value.
Well, you wouldn't expect it to be the full value, like.
Yeah.
Was this as an assault rifle turret then, or what
No, it's a heavy SMG turret.
Yes,
Which technically it could have an assault rifle or something put on it. But that's me guesstimating without actually knowing for sure. So, are you guys looking to liquidate the turret and then buy the gun for Zid? Is there anything else you guys are looking for?
I think we liquidate the turret. It's time. We'll probably regret it later and when something comes up, but at the moment...
Unless we're planning on drawing something into an ambush somewhere, which kind of requires us to have a base of operations or a place to do that to,
Agreed.
I just don't see that turret as being tremendously useful, other than if you're going to try to mount it to the vehicle in some way, and then you'd have to operate it while we're in motion, which, like you said, you're not interested in doing.
It's a bit beyond Zid, in my opinion. Like, he probably has the skill, honestly, but he, at least mechanically, but his roleplay is not anything like that. Like,
Okay.
So yeah, liquidate the turret. If he wants to take the life tech armor, unless we want to keep it around to try to infiltrate a different facility. But I'm going to assume that just like every other life take location I've ever been at, that they have specific armors per specific location. This might be specific to that compound and only be used at that particular compound.
It wouldn't surprise you. There we go. SMG turret. So I'm taking that out of his inventory. Was there anything else you wanted to give him?
Those two armors is what I was looking at. And basically, we want the Sternmeyer rifle.
The two armors, there's 4 sets of insect armor.
Oh, there's 4 sets of insect.
Yeah. Body armor.
they're only worth like 100 each or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dump them. Not worth the space. Not worth the space in the smuggler's compartment at this point. I mean, we may have to put somebody in there for a while.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to sell him? You have your energy weapons that you have some limited ammo for.
I personally
They-
think we need to hold on to those. with
They
the
don't
intention
work
of-
out of the complex.
Well, I think we need to hold on to those with the intention once we get back to a place where we can set up some kind of a workshop to let Blackstone try to rip
That's fine.
apart to figure out how they work. Because they're not worth that much, I don't believe, and they might be worth way more to us if we can figure out how they work so that we can fabricate ammo for that of that type.
It's unknown, but the ammo doesn't even work. The guns do not work out of the complex. There's something about it that they're not working.
It's not getting the proper Wi-Fi to fire.
It could be.
Pretty much.
That's the thing you guys don't know.
Yeah, true.
Well, DM, speaking of Black Chrome and interesting things, and actually a workshop, I did come across a Porta printer in Black Chrome, which allows a tech to use upgrade and fabrication expertise anywhere as long as they have tech tools.
Mm-hmm.
Would that also allow them to reverse engineer things?
How
I
much
don't
is
think that allows reverse engineering. It does allow
1,000.
it does allow creation and upgrade, not necessarily breakdown.
Hmm.
You could technically break down anywhere. It's just the probability of surviving.
But yes, by the book, it's 1,000 euro bucks.
Yeah. No, there's some really sweet things they have available.
Oh, by the way, Ajo. If
Yeah?
we want to get a vehicle-mounted weapon, or do we want it to be something that you are using to chase after things, or to deter someone chasing us?
Deter.
Okay, so rear-mounted weaponry then.
Yeah, Ajo's not a hunter at this point. He just doesn't want to be bothered.
So that's what we're basically discussing. Does he have the printer? Does he even have one of these printers?
Well, since your good friend there, Stitcher, said it, let's have him roll his luck roll. See if the guy has one.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
D10 / red 10, 1d10,
Okay, gotcha.
and we'll see if he has the item you mentioned.
Just a single D10, not the exploding one, right?
It's just a / red d10. It doesn't matter if it explodes or not. It won't make a difference
Okay.
in this regard.
Nice.
He actually does, because you rolled well.
Under the luck score.
Not totally sure if it's working,
wow.
but there's one here.
So, knowing we need to know how much he's gonna give us in trade for these sets of armor, the turret, because we want this gun, and I think probably at least I know we need at least one drum of rounds for it.
Yeah, just one is fine. Like that's heaps.
Okay.
80 shots. That's like insane.
That's a
Like three
that's a
triggers, like
combat
three
or two.
trigger bolts. Sorry.
Hope I'm not expending 80 shots in 2 combats. Jeez.
Shit.
I mean, you guys have blown through quite a few in a few combats.
That's true.
Yeah, but also Zid doesn't really understand like exactly. Like,
Oh yeah.
Not really.
All right, so you guys do want to get that rifle, and if you have the money, you want to get the Porta printer.
If he's got enough left if we've got enough left in trade, we're trying to figure out what he wants.
Are you just going in trade, or are you going to dip into your 2,400 and stash?
We want to try to do as much in trade as possible, because that all depends on how much he's going to give us for this turret.
Could always see how he's feeling. It's like, hey, you need a quick doctor's checkup? You probably haven't been in a while if you've been out here.
It's not a bad idea.
You can try.
I mean, he is a trained med tech.
If you need the license, I've got it right here.
Turn your head and cough.
Actually, you know what? While he's watching, we're looking at the Porta printer. Mr. Troll will be like, Willie, right?
Yeah, how can I help you?
Actually, it's more about how I can help you. Because I bet you haven't seen a doctor in a while.
No, don't need them.
You made it just fine long enough, right?
Well, I mean, I'm older than any of you all, and I'm still kicking on my own. I don't know that I need to do any of that kind of farmer kind of stuff. They just take your money and get you nothing. I mean, I don't understand why you guys want to do all that kind of stuff.
No. Not talking signing you up for any drug subscriptions or crap you don't need.
You see those people down over there? They look like they've been mutated into some kind of half animal things. I mean, I don't think that's the kind of stuff we need around here, man. I think I'm going past on that kind of stuff.
But let's make sure you're in tip-top shape, huh?
I mean, I feel all right.
Well, let me be the judge of that, because I do practice as a doctor, and I bet I can help you. So let's take a look.
Roll a persuasion.
Are you good with that?
Persuasion check.
Persuasion? Sure, why not?
Well, how incorrect is how I'm playing this guy? I mean, I'm sure you guys have met someone like this before.
The fact that he looks like human beef jerky is exactly like I said.
You know, I'm going to throw a few luck points in this one just in case.
I mean, his accent didn't come from how he looks at all, I'm sure.
Oh, come on. Why is this not wanting to cooperate? Hold on. That was,
I mean, you're a bit fishy. We'll let you do your thing at a little bit of a distance, but we'll see what you say. What do you want to do? What are you trying to do?
effectively just make sure, you know, you haven't been exposed to anything out here, especially you were just talking about those mutated animals. Don't want you to end up mutated. Make sure you haven't inhaled anything, giving you like black lung or something horrific.
Are you kidding? I inhale stuff here about every day.
All right. Well,
he pulls out a pipe and like looking at you like, are you mad?
and Stitcher will actually laugh. Better the smoke you know than the smoke you don't, right?
I always know the smoke I inhale. If I don't know the smoke, you can get away from me. That's called fire. Typically, the kind of fire you want to avoid is them chemical fires, and them things are hot. Have you ever seen them chemical fires? And they make really weird color too, man, and they cook you up real nice and crazy.
They sure do.
So is he gonna let him do the check then, or not?
Halfway, he's cautious. It was enough that he got close enough that he's not going to drive him out, but not good enough that he feels comfortable with him.
Do I see any like obvious, like, I guess, boils, wounds,
no boils or
pock
wounds.
marks that should be examined further?
You definitely see that he is aged. You see that he's probably spent too much time in the sun. Fairly well cooked. You're not sure if he's like 60 or if he's 160.
Indiscriminate leathering. Got it.
That's how's this making you feel? You've mentioned where you live. Anyone like this around there?
Yeah, hold on. I'm going to post something into the chat here in just a moment. I just got to.
I'm getting the vibe that Willie is just our, it ain't much, but it's honest work.
Yeah. You know, man, I do what I got to do out of my life. My best survive. It's that kind of man. I just always survive. And so I get to my age. If you survive, live. If you don't, you don't. I mean, it's not that hard of a concept. I don't understand why people think it's something difficult or something. You just got to live good.
Well, everybody's definition of living good is wildly different. And
Well, there's plenty of idiots out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're kind of pretty dumb out there. You're gonna go, messing up your ears and putting all fuzzy ear stuff. I mean, I don't understand why you want to do all that. It's just crazy. It makes you want to think that people want to get you hunted or something. I mean, you heard that story about that guy who was all rich and got all that money and went hunting people?
They definitely want to get hunted.
Post it in the Discord.
I gotta see this before I continue. Nope.
You're terrible.
The God, looks like the desert ground.
So, is there any other stuff you guys kind of look forward to I can help you with? Or you just want to load this stuff up and get on your mosey on way? I heard you guys trying to get out of town here pretty quick.
Is he willing to trade the rifle, the rounds, the printer for the turret and the armor? You want me to make a persuasion check?
Sure.
There. So let's. No, not 50. Can't add 50 luck to any.
That
You
would
wish
be
you could.
really funny.
5 luck.
Like, how did you get like 67 on your check? No
Nuts
reason.
is so good at Cyberpunk, he hacked it to give himself extra.
There you go.
He's not running the game.
He's really gaming the game.
9, making it a 23.
I clicked human perception, not persuasion. God damn it. Let me re-roll that. That's, although, hold on.
Is it
If
the
we
same
use
modifier?
that, it's not the same modifier. It would be a modifier of base 12 versus a base 9. So that would actually be 3 higher if that was a persuasion.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure DM will.
Your call.
honor that you
I will
made
make
a
him
mistake.
re-roll so I can see that 1.
You meanie.
Well, however, it's already
That's
docked
right.
my 5 points of luck for the
Right,
other
yeah.
roll.
Yeah, I know. It's all right. No, it's cool. I'm just mainly messing with you because it's fun. You know, you got to mess with people. That's the point of the game.
That would be for persuasion. That would be a 26.
He says if you're willing to set up the network and set up the turret,
Oh, he wants us to like make
That-
it operational for him?
he will go ahead and do the trade.
He wants you to set it up to
And he
guard
might
his stock.
sweeten the deal.
I mean, Zid would be down, but he's currently, engaged.
Said, well, our technician that's engaged, that's capable of doing that, is currently having coffee with your friend. I'm sure we can make that happen.
Blackstone can do most of it. There's a little bit that Zid would need to do for the actual network setup.
We'll have Blackstone go ahead and set it up. Probably protesting and grumbling that we're going to regret giving up the turret the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
He probably ain't happy, but
He's getting a portable printer out of this.
yeah,
Yeah.
True.
he'll be happy with that.
Fine, I guess we're getting the thing. As I'm getting my thing, but you're getting your thing, and you're taking my thing, and you're...
Bro, just make your own turret.
We're getting a thing that will let you build your own. Stop it.
This was
Yeah,
my
you
thing.
can
I don't
customize it
understand.
to be
No.
Just for you. Nobody else can fire it but you.
Hey,
So let's
we
see.
didn't sell his gun, alright? Like, otherwise he would be skinning everyone alive right now.
You should do that. That would be hilarious.
No, don't do that.
I don't think we want to see Blackstone on a rampage. We already saw him on a bad trip.
All right. Wow. How's he get that? Okay. He's Tech 10? Oh, he does. Nuts.
Blackstone, I think, very specialized.
Yeah. All right, so he gets this all set up. Zid, for time's sake, since we're getting there, go ahead and roll your interface. It would be a...
I would tell you to spend luck, but
We'll
I
save.
don't have any.
Will it matter?
We'll say virus, because that's what they use for programming kind of thing. But it doesn't matter all that much.
Nice. That's
Not bad.
really good. For a roll check?
That's what I'm saying. That's not bad. That's 15's
That's
nice for
Almost
net
as
running.
good as
You can, yeah. No. That's what I'm saying. Like that's not bad. That's nice.
set up and installed a pop-up turret in this guy's.
A lot of their DVs for electronic security tech, actually, for setting up the stuff. And so that's the other role that we need from Blackstone. And then we should be good to go. I'm just trying to cover all the bases of what it says we need to do.
The
All right.
security parameters correct.
Yep. And that's the thing. I'm just trying to see how well it's set up so that, you know, story-wise down the road, if something does happen, how does what you put in place work? Is he mad at you? Did you succeed well enough that he's like thrilled with you, or did it just work and he's okay? Right. So yeah, he's able to trade that, and you got it all set up. He's obviously not a tech person, which is why he wanted you guys to set it up. That's
which
not
button
his
did
skill
I
set.
use to make it shoot?
Yeah, no, that is straight up this guy. So how do we make this thing go boom boom? Just yeah,
Leap for cover.
yeah, yeah. So
Please make sure that we are all registered as friendlies to that turret. before you
Give him a,
that's
give
the
him
one that has the red words, right? Dink. You give him what, Matt?
a panic button.
Yeah. Just start shooting everything. All right, so yeah, he's willing to do that. I will put the portable one. Can we put that in Stash or on Blackstone?
Portable what?
The portable
Oh.
printer.
I think the printer's probably big enough that it needs to go in the van. I don't think it's something
Yeah.
that's going to be carried around. You know.
Poor. If I can learn how to spell. Alphabet is hard. What order does it go in?
You know what I think you should do? You should put it on Blackstone. You should just spell it as porta potty printers.
So Blackstone, we
like,
got you a
what?
porta potty printer.
He'll be watching.
Oh, I'm sure.
Later.
Oh, I hope so.
It might not be tonight, but.
Oh
I
man.
hope he's feeling better. That
Oh yeah, he's obviously rough. He has hardly missed a session. So yeah, it's obviously not
Yeah.
doing so hard.
All right. So he gave you he found an extra mag of ammo for your MO2. So he was kind enough to be like, oh, well, you got that one. You did such a nice job setting all that up. Here, let me get you an extra sit around here. I found this extra mag here. There you go.
Jeez, that's very generous.
Yeah, it means we won't have to worry about it. It also means that the DM intends to have a running firefight at some point over.
Yeah, I mean, I'm both pleased and terrified in the same breath.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure there's no downsides to having a nice fancy gun. I'm sure no one will target you.
You'll be fine. That's the benefit of having the sniper, but he just doesn't see that he's ever going to be in a position to do that.
I mean, you do need to now get auto fire, because it is an auto fire weapon, and then you can have lots of fun. Heavy weapons and auto fire.
Well, it just has the option, yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, you don't have to. Auto fires.
It's ridiculous, and I don't know that there's a need to do that.
It's
Yeah.
auto fire with an armor piercing weapon.
Yeah.
But Zid's not. He wouldn't. He
It's like,
wouldn't
I
do
sold
that. He's not.
So
he's
it's
not like that.
it is a 5d6 weapon. So it basically you're doing the same as Blackstone's pistol.
Blackstone, yeah. But that pistol's like 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
However, the ammo is Albation
Very.
2, so if you beat their armor, you take away 2 of their armor, not 1.
That's really good.
So, yeah. So you guys are able to load up and head out of Arcadia after.
Do we have to put Zid in
Dealing with
the
this.
smuggler's compartment to get him past the Militech checkpoint?
Militech doesn't care.
Okay, so they don't care. On the way out, they don't give a shit. Huh?
Well, no. She tells Zid the way to get out safely.
Oh,
Militech doesn't care. Militech is just contracted. As long as they don't, get caught for, contract infringement, they don't care about this place other than making money off it. They're mercs. What do they
fair
care?
enough.
So she just marks it as him being locked in a secure location, and no one's going to check Militech's base for him, are they?
Oh, surely not. No, nobody's looking for Zid whatsoever.
I mean, unless Biotechnica wants to make a executive request kind of thing. He's going to sit there until they decide to put him on trial, which may not actually even get to go to Biotechnica. It may just go to Militech's
Okay, Militech
judge.
What prisoner? Fuck you.
Yep.
We have no record of this prisoner in our system.
Well, actually, you didn't sign the proper forms, and it looked like that you didn't have the proper transmission of your said client to our facilities. Therefore, it is on your head that he is now missing. Have a nice day.
Legal black hole later.
You know Militech has a whole swath of lawyers on their team as well. They don't just fight in the armed
difference
arena.
is Their lawyer solos is the problem.
Yeah,
Just as likely to shoot you as they are to take you to court.
exactly.
Literal judge, jury, and executioner in that case.
Judge Dredd would be Militech.
I am the law.
You know,
So-
I never did see the second one of those that they made. I heard that the
Darn.
second one was actually very well done. But the first one with Stallone was
Well-
horrifying.
Just to say, you guys make it out of Arcadia, and that's where we'll pick up next time because we are getting late.
Yep.
Hey, thank you guys for having a great time. I hope you guys enjoyed the story.
Yeah.
Thank you, viewers, for joining us on this lovely trip. Be sure to join us next time. Till then, go check out all these fine folks. They do an awesome job. I appreciate every single one of them and the time they put in. We'll see you all next time.